dude?
What's up, dude? My name's Brandon. This is Sherman. It's a beastly little 2010 Forester. Got a 4-inch ADF lift on it, 2-inch subframe drop, nice little custom front bumper, rocking the KO2s.
And then I'm gonna ask you about the KO2s. Everybody says like, oh, KO2s are heavy, they're blah, 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 blah.
They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, when you actually look at the weights.
Compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges, and you know, you take into the fact that KO2s are only sized in LT sizes, and most people are running a passenger tire, and comparing the 10-pound weight difference there. And then you look at a LT KO2 to like a LT Wild Peak AT3W, and you'll find that the AT3s are about 10 pounds heavier on average.
Yeah, that's always blown my mind.
Yeah.
People don't actually look at the numbers, because I mean, most people, they should just be running a P metric, but like, don't act like, oh, this is just a heavy tire.
Yeah, no, you got to understand what you're playing with there.
Yeah, it's like,
they're worth
it's a good
every
tire.
penny.
You can beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, and like, there's no terrain they can't conquer.
Yeah.
Like, they're phenomenal in rocks, they're great in snow, ice, fucking sand, just eats it. So the headlights are, well, I don't really know a whole lot about what's going on there. They're a little custom mod going on in there. They've been retrofitted with a projector, and if you look real close at that one, it's got a bit of a lazy eye.
That's all good.
Because
Just like me.
Yeah, you know, it's chilling though. But then in the bumper, I just got some random like 6-inch amber clearance lights. They don't really do much. And then moving on up here to the pod lights, they're an Ironman 4-inch amber pod light. And then I got the Ironman light bar up top there.
Yeah, this thing was bright last night. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was trying not to blind you.
Wow. Everybody forgets about this.
That was the first thing I bought for this car.
Well, because everybody, they end up ripping out the eyebolts. Because they just start yanking.
Those aren't for towing. That's
Not
for
at
fucking
all.
dragging it across an assembly line and up onto the delivery truck.
Tying it down on the ship on the way from Japan.
That's all they're good for. Do not yank on that.
Yeah, these. I mean, and it's only like what, $200 to get a hitch.
Yeah, they're not expensive at all.
It is kind of a pain in the butt to install, but like this will save your life. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
It'll literally save your life. You're not going to accidentally kill somebody.
No, you can have a hitch flying out or anything like that.
Yeah. And then, what's up with your exhaust? I don't think I've asked you about it.
That is, I believe it's just like a WRX OEM exhaust from the catback.
Like off of an actual WRX?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Bolts up?
Yeah.
That's tight.
Yeah.
And then, I know you wanted to, you were telling me you want to upgrade your wheels. I actually think these are sick.
Dude, everybody loves the wheels, and honestly, I hate them.
What do you want to jump to next?
I really want the Rika Tetons.
Okay.
I'm really digging the way they look. You know, they're starting to gain some popularity out there, and I'm seeing them a little more and more now.
Yeah.
But, you know, Methods are a fucking strong-ass wheel. Yeah. I've crashed a car with Methods on it twice, and it survived both times, dude. They're solid.
Everybody hates on Methods. You're like, oh, everybody's got them. Dude, there's a reason why everybody's got them.
There's a fucking reason, man. You get what you pay for.
Rally drivers, everybody out here's running them.
Exactly.
Because they're strong enough and cheap enough.
Either those or the Speedline Corsas.
Yeah.
Exactly. For the same reasons, strength and durability. No, I bought it pretty much as is. You know, the lift, wheels, tires, bumper, and all that was all already done.
Yeah, and that's the way to do it. You save a lot of time and money.
Yeah, you know, when I was shopping for it and I wanted just a bare bones stock chassis, I wanted to do everything myself because, you know, my last car was a 06 and obviously I wanted a turbo now, so.
Yeah, you said it was an 05 XT that you were
looking at? That's what I was wanting. And I found a handful of them up in Seattle for like $8,000 or so. Stock, but like 150 to 180 miles on them, and I'm just like, I don't know. And you know, I scoured Craigslist from Bellingham, Washington down to San Francisco and all the way east to Idaho and Reno, and I found Sherman outside of Sacramento for $10,000.
Dude, that's what's up.
Yeah, fucking called them, rented a car, drove down there. My test drive consisted of driving it around the corner from the dealership, crawling underneath it, and going right back and throwing cash down on the table.
Can you explain a little bit? So most people don't actually have any clue what's involved in lifting a car past 2 inches, or at least a Subaru. So, I mean, I know you didn't do the install.
No, but you know, I've been in it and under it and everything. So right up front's a good place to see some action. So like right here, we've got a 2-inch spacer here for the subframe to drop that down to bring your axle angle back into spec. And then if you come back to the rear, there's another brace right there for the control arm. So everything's really nicely done. It's all ADF. And then the rear's got this whole like cradle assembly that bolts in there. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it under there, but it's got just a beastie fucking whole rear cradle assembly in there. And the rear axles are perfectly flat.
Yeah, because I think people just think, oh, you can just keep spacing and spacing.
I mean, you can, but you're gonna run into problems. And the other thing probably nobody realizes, there's a spacer in the steering shaft.
Yeah. I can. It's so hard to put it on camera.
I know, it's in there.
But yeah, that's one of those things where people, they don't think about it when they're lifting their Subaru. It's like, not only are you gonna have to space your suspension, but now a lot of times your radiator hoses have to be modified.
Yeah.
When you go up to like 6 inches and stuff, people
wire harness too.
Oh yeah, you gotta space that up because you're dropping. You're basically dropping the engine.
Yep. There's a new transmission mount in there. There's a new rear diff mount.
Okay.
Everything's got to be dropped to keep it all, in line and in spec.
Yeah.
It's a stout kit. A lot of people want it, and I've come to gather that ADF doesn't make it anymore, and nor did he actually produce very many of them to begin with. So it's a very rare kit to have, and I'm excited to have it. Yeah, shout out Iron Rigs 4x4 in Beaverton. They gave me a pretty solid hookup on that. They were running their last year's Model N clearance on all their tents and stuff when they hosted Rigs and Coffee last month. And they were selling the Nomad tents new in box for $1,400, and then I got hooked up with the floor model display. It took me longer to unroll my sleeping bag and get the LED lights set up inside than it did to get that open and set up.
Yeah, because you basically just unclip.
Yeah, there's 3 Velcro straps on the side, and it's got gas struts. It just pops open. You pull the ladder out and then just flip it out, and literally you're camping. It's good to go. Feel free to hop up in there, dude.
Well, I'm fixing a trip and get.
Yeah. It's all unzipped and everything.
It's like that is sick. Oh, it's like actually dark in there.
Yeah, dude, it is nice.
I was straight up like fishbowl this morning.
No, I was able to sleep through the sunrise, which is honestly pretty unusual for me.
Yeah.
I'm a really early riser, but we were up till 2:30 in the fucking morning.
Yeah. Now, do you feel a lot of resistance driving down the freeway with this on?
Oh, absolutely. My max speed is about 75.
Okay.
I actually did 80 on I-5 leaving PIR the other night, and that was the first time I've ever seen that number on the dash since I had the tent. So.
And then do you feel like you lost a lot of MPG?
Honestly, like going from the basket to the tent wasn't bad, but my mileage is just shit as is.
Yeah.
I get about 15.5 miles a gallon.
Is that with is that factoring in like the difference with the wheel tire diameter? That's
just whatever's reading off the dash. But then every time I fill up too, I just divide my mileage out by gallons in, and it's within a half mile or so. My last Forester, I was aware the speedometer was off from the tire size increase. It was over 60 miles an hour. It was off by like 1.8.
Well, I know you bought it lifted and already, modified. But is there anything you would do differently if you had built it from the ground up? I think you've got a good setup, but is there anything?
Honestly, it's really solid as is. The only thing I'm really looking into doing is maybe some springs down the road.
Yeah.
There's a certain company out there we all love working on some springs right now, so I'll be waiting for those for sure.